I think stream was stopped for some connection issues. Now we have excellent connection. Let's do it again. So we have imported revalidate path and redirect from next navigation and revalidate path from next cache. Now we have also created a record. Right, so updating an invoice. Now we will update an invoice. The updating invoice form is similar to create an invoice form, except you will need to pass the invoice ID to update the record in your database. Let's see how you can get and pass invoice ID. Create a new dynamic route segment with the invoice ID. Read the invoice ID from page params. Fetch the specific invoice from the database. Pre-populate the form with the invoice data. Update the invoice data in your database. Okay, that's some lengthy work. Create a dynamic route segment with invoice ID. There are some connection issues. Next.js allows you to create dynamic route segments. Okay, when you do not know the exact segment name. You want to create routes based on data. Okay, this could be blog post titles, product pages, etc. Okay, you can create dynamic route segments. Okay, it's talking about dynamic routes. We're typing a folder's name inside square brackets. For example, ID, post, or slug. Our invoices, create a new dynamic route called ID. Okay, in our invoices, create a new dynamic route. It is inside square brackets, so it's dynamic. Then inside this, and then a new route called edit with page.tsx. Again, then inside ID, a route edit, then inside this page.tsx. Now in your table component, notice there is an update invoice button that receives the invoice ID from table records. Okay, now we go to your update invoice component. In the app UI invoices table, in the app UI invoices table, here we have update invoice. Now we go to update invoice component, update the href to link to separate ID prop. You can use template literals to link to dynamic route segments. Now go to update invoice. Now inside this we have to href link to template literals will receive. First it was simply dashboard invoices. Now it is okay, we have to wrap it inside curly braces. href dashboard invoices, then there will be ID we will want to update, then edit dynamic page. It the invoice ID from page params. Back in your page component, paste the following code. Okay, paste the following code in our dashboard invoices ID edit page.tsx. We will paste this. breadcrumbs, label, invoice. Notice how it's similar to your create invoice page, except it imports a different form from edit form tsx file. This form should pre-populate the default value for customer's name, invoice amount, and status. To pre-populate the form fields, you need to fetch the specific invoice using ID. Okay, so for that we have to also fetch the data from our database and get the ID, and also record with that specific ID. In addition to search params, page components also accept a prop called params, which you can use to access ID. Params which you can accept used to access the ID, update the your page component, receive the props. We will update it to receive the props. ID from params.id. Okay, fetch specific invoice and import a new function called fetch invoice by ID, then pass the ID as an argument. In the import fetch customers to fetch the customer names from dropdown. You can promise style to fetch the both invoice and customers in parallel. Okay, fetch by ID, fetch customers inside our this dynamic route. Invoice customers, fetch invoice by ID. Okay, we have not imported this function. We will import this function. Now there is no error in our page. You see a temporary error could be potentially undefined, and don't worry about it. This next chapter when you add error handling. Now great, now test everything is worked correctly. Visit dynamic and click on pencil icon to edit an invoice. After navigation we should see a form that is prepared with invoice details. Okay, we will go to our invoices and we will just edit the record we have just created. Okay, click on this pencil. So now we are in the edit invoice page. You can see the address, dynamic address is dashboard, invoices, then the ID of this record, and then edit. So that's how the dynamic route or route segment work. Dashboard, then invoices, then ID, then edit. Okay, so okay, so our form is pre-populated with our records. Using increment keys. This makes a URL longer. However, using the risk of ID collision are globally unique and reduce the risk of enumeration attacks, making them ideal for large database. Okay, however, if you prefer cleaner URL, you might prefer to use auto incrementing keys. Okay, but using UIDs is safer because they are longer and eliminate the risk of enumeration attacks. Okay. Pass the ID to server action. Lastly, you want to pass the ID to server action so you can update the right record in your database. You cannot pass ID as an argument like so. App UI invoices edit form.tsx. Unless you want to pass ID to a server action, Passing an ID as an argument would not work. Okay, if you update the right coordinator, you can pass the ID as an argument like so. Okay, so what we can do? JS bind. This will ensure that any values passed to server actions are encoded. Inside form, we will import update invoice from app lib actions. Invoices edit form. Wait, where it is? UI in app UI invoices. Okay. UI invoices edit form. Okay, then we will import update invoice from app lib actions. Then we will update invoice with ID. Invoice with ID. And then bind it. Okay, with invoice.id. Then inside form action, we will use this. We have a create invoice, but we do not have update invoice. Oh yes, now using a hidden input field in a form also works. Input type hidden, name ID, invoice ID. However, the values will appear as a full text in HTML, which is not right for sensitive data like IDs. Okay, then in action.ts, we can get a new action update invoice. We have to create a new action. It will be similar to create invoice. Create a new server action, update invoice, right? Okay, we will use your to update the expected types. These were schema for create invoice. This is schema for update invoice. Similarly, create invoice section here. You are to the create extracting data from data, then type validating types with Jod, converting the amount to cents, passing variables to SQL query. Okay, we're using form data, then converting amounts to cents, then converting the date, and then inserting into invoices with the values. This is up. So this is update invoices, and we are updating our table where ID is ID. We will also learn SQL in our later stream, like some other day. Currently, we need to clear the client cache and make a new server request. Okay, calling test editing invoice after invoice should be updated. Okay. So we are in this page. Now let's change it to 400 and then edit invoice. I think there is some issue. Let's go to invoices and try to edit again. I think there's some connection error. Let's again refresh it. If it's working, they are saying next, deleting an invoice. Okay, now we will implement how to delete. uh, okay, so they are loading the data from database. Let's try to edit it. We have this record and I will click on edit. This problem in fetch all customers. I think uh, let's again run this. We have our edit page finally. So now let's enter the change the amount and then click on edit invoice. So I think it should be edited by now, right? So I think there is some stream connection error, so that's why we could not do this. I think I have to end my stream here. Thank you for watching.